Everyone, welcome to Breslov Efrat. And yesterday was a great day, right? Baruch Hashem, and Baruch Hashem, we have another great day today. And we're going to continue our lessons here, Baruch Hashem and Likutey Halachos, and we have a kfiyas, and that's the most important thing. Anytime you're learning, you learn with a kfiyas, I think is the most important thing. You learn with continuity, right? I think that's a nice word to use, this continuity to it. All right, so today we're in the middle of Halacha Gimel, and we're in the middle of letter Beis, right? 2. Right, we're in the middle of Beis, Halacha Gimel Beis. You don't have it, David?
For some reason, I put my bookmark on the wrong page and I'm looking at the wrong.
It's page Zion. You got it? Everyone has a place? Ve'ikar. Here we go. Ready? Everyone have the place? Ve'ikar, yeah, ve'ikar. The main point. Ve'ikar shleimus havaydu u'lizgaber me'oid la'amayid b'chol layla b'chatzos halayla. We spoke. I'm just going to do this one more time, okay? The main point. If someone wants to have he wants to have a shleimus is navodas Hashem, because we said that really a person had the getting up at chatzos layla when it's at the darkest time is where a person can get that influx of Emuna, because he has to use his Emuna. Then in the morning we said, like we said, Chadosh Labakorim Rabba Munasecha, right? Then in the morning comes in, and then you can have that influx. So the main thing is to really get up at Chatzos Laila. And again, we'll say it again, if you can't get up at Chatzos Laila, get up at least, like Rav Nosson said yesterday, before Alois Shachar. Before Alois Shachar, and then see what you can do, because then you can still tap in. Not as good, but you still can tap in and benefit by the Chadoshim Labakorim Rabba Munasecha. All right. And the Rebbe gave us all the different. He's showing us, Rav Nosson showing us all the places in the Zohar. So he's not, making this. This was not fabricated. Okay, it's well founded. Anyone that Yiras Hashem mamish penetrates his heart, lamed b'chatzos layla daika. Get up specifically then. But again, if you can't, so we spoke about it, and we'll speak about it again and again. The main thing is, and never to be miyayish, right? That's the most important thing. You try to get up. If you can't get up, at least you want to. We spoke about that also. We'll speak again. Even if I want to get up, but and it doesn't work, so it doesn't work. Okay.
Yet.
What?
Yet.
You'll try again. You'll try again. Now we're gonna so let's go on, and then he's gonna explain us why it's so important in a moment. So we're gonna see now. Ki'ika shleimus Emuna, and Kedushu al yedei shemevatlin u'meshabrin u'meva'arin midat shnei minis kushias kfiras. So the main point of our Emuna here is that we have to be mevat, we have to be mevatel, we have to nullify, we have to break. Right, and we have to eradicate from our das these two kind of kushias and the kfiras. Right, where did the kfira come from? We spoke about it. It came from the fact when we eat and we're not eating properly and we're eating too much things and the maisrais. Right, so that's what, and that's why the Yetzer Hara always wants us to have junk food, more junk food. We don't eat it. It's junk food. Why is there a Yetzer Hara to eat junk food? Why? You ever think about it? Why do you have people want to eat more sweet and more junk food? Why? Because it is this idea. It's the mamish Yetzer Hara trying to eke his way into each and every yid, and he wants to take hold of everyone. So when we know that, and then every time we have the ability not to eat something else, that's an amazing thing. We're fighting back. We're fighting back against this idea. It's an amazing concept, right? Anyone, you want to say anything? Anyone have any comment on this? No?
It's like too obvious that the Yetzer Hara wants to try to get us to eat treif with junk food.
We're not even talking. So the Yetzer Hara is not. Again, he's not. A guy is a frum guy. So the Yetzer Hara is not going to tell him to go eat. Go into to something mamish treif. He's not going to do that. He'll come in and tell you, no, eat this candy, or eat this big piece of chocolate, or eat something else. He's not Not doing that. He's smarter than that. Because he knows if he tells the guy to eat something not kosher, he's not going to do it. But if it's something that'll entice him, then it'll probably do that. So again, so the idea is again by controlling what we're eating and understanding that there's such a thing like this, right? We learn such a concept that eating junk food is really a Yitzhar. Where would you, right? They'll tell you don't eat junk food; it's not good for your teeth, and not good, right? But now we're learning a new concept here.
Not
Okay.
necessarily even junk, but it's
What?
like not necessarily even junk. It's like a breakfast in a hotel.
Yeah.
Really good breakfast. It's just like you can keep it up.
No, but okay, no, but no. But when so again, there's an Indian in the morning that we have pas chakras, right? That's a din in Shulchan Aruch. No, okay. But again, in the morning, if the person's going to have a balanced meal, again, it's eating about a balanced meal. You have a balanced meal, and that's where it is, and that's how we could limit how much kfira that gets injected into us, and how much those quarrels that we have in our minds all the time. They're telling us to do this or that. We're not sure what to do, right? Anyway, so he gives us these type of things that there's no way to answer. We spoke about the two kind of questions. There are some kind of questions that are answerable, and that's when you're learning halacha, when you're learning, you're learning if you're doing the daf yomi. So there's always kashas and terutzim in the Gemara, and then sometimes the Gemara has a teiko. They don't know, but okay, but it's still you can understand it. That things that's attainable to us to understand. But there are certain things that are not understandable. But even like yesterday, when they asked Rabbi Kramer, he said he was talking about the Holocaust. So he said, where was Hashem during the Holocaust? So look in Devarim and Chav Ches, look in the Teichacha. That's where Hashem was. In other words, again, it's very simple. We don't. There are certain kind of questions, but we can always rely on the Torah. Always go back to the Torah. All right. Now, because certain questions that we'll go into, if you delve into them, and the ideas of philosophy, like we spoke about, which is poison, the Rebbe speaks about that all the time. You go into these things, and you just reach a point of no return, right? Almost like happened with Acher. Acher and with Rabbi Akiva when they went into the paradise, right? He told them, don't look at things, and you can't remember that there were rules over there, and they didn't follow the rules. So you see, you got the. So again, there's kol bayer lo yeshuvim. It's richen lismay charak al Emuna levad, and that's the main thing. In other words, when we have things in our lives that are daunting, and we don't know how to deal with them. So we have to just rely on Emuna. We have to know that Kol Ma David Rachmana Latav Ovid, right? We have to know that principle, that everything Hashem does, He does for the good. Kol Ma David Rachmana Latav Ovid. He does everything for the good. I maybe don't understand it. I maybe can't but I know that I have to believe that whatever the situation is, Hashem is doing it for the good. I had a Rebbe when I was in sixth grade. He was amazing. We would at that time we loved baseball, right? Kids, I'm sure a lot of you like baseball too. No, baseball, no. No. They didn't have. In Moscow, they didn't have. They didn't have no baseball. No. So we were very into this baseball and the scores and the what do you call it, the averages, the averages of the players. So I remember the Rebbe told us that you have to remember the Rebbeinu Shalom has a great average, and he said like this. He said when a batter goes up to bat, so they bat and they have, let's say they have 400. Their average is 400. That's great, right? But what does that mean? Out of every 100 times he goes up, he only hits 40 times, something like that, right? Yeah. So that's not too good. But they think that's great, right? But so he said to remind us, you have to remember the Rebbeinu Shalom also has an average. So look through life, and he reminded us this all the time. Always, when you go through life and you're dealing with something difficult at that moment, look back at the other difficult things that you dealt with in your life, and look how HaKadosh Baruch Hu took care of the situation and you were successful in all the other times. And look at that and see how HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a great track record, the best track record. He has the best average. And if you do that, so then you can always rely on the Emuna. And that's I'm just giving you an idea of something that you can use practically to rely on the Emuna. Right? So again, if we have questions in our life we don't understand, just be saimich on Emuna alone. Okay? Now, but there are questions that you can answer. Right? You have a question. Can I do this on Shabbos or I can't do this? Can I do this on the Chag? If it's Chalamoid, am I allowed to do business? I'm not allowed to do. What am I? These are questions that I can get an answer for. We can discuss it and we can get an answer. But then sometimes the intellect, the flow of the intellect in our minds sometimes gets clogged up. Sometimes it gets clogged up and we can't think properly. There are certain times that happens, right? Certain days you have a clearer mind than other days. Sometimes it's a little cloudy. Everyone has these kind of questions according to their aspect and their level. According to the seichel of each and every one. Everyone has their own situations in their lives and their own trials and tribulations that are going through, and each one has to understand it in their own way. What's a tikkun is this? Liskais liftayach esadas ulegale shivlei aseichel. What's the idea? What can I do if I find that my mind, my intellect is clouded and I don't have clarity? What can I do? He said, they limud paiskim. Take out the Shulchan Aruch, learn a little halacha. Take out the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, take out the Shulchan Aruch Harav, whatever you'd like. Listen to a Mishnah Brura, whatever you like to learn. Just learn the halacha. The halacha will bring you clarity. It'll help you with clarity. It's an amazing idea, right? Have you heard it? This idea? This is an amazing concept. Go through a halacha, because again, what was halacha? Halacha, it was derived based on much background, right? When you come to halacha, so there was the Mishnah, there was the Gemara, right? And then we had the different place, and until it came to that psak halacha, it was very. So when you study the halacha and you're connecting yourself to that wisdom of the Torah, so that can help open up our own shvilei aseichel. Okay, does it make any sense? Everyone's okay with that? Okay. And then the person has shalom. He has peace in his own mind. And he can be mevatel that machlokes that he has going on in his mind all the time. He doesn't know what to do. He's always that battle going on. The Yetzer is telling him this and this, right? I can't get up at chatzais because it's impossible. The Yetzer is telling me that this happens, right?
I had to see Zahara last night. I
Yeah.
went to bed at 12:35.
Yeah.
You know what chatzah was, right?
Yeah, 45.
45. Okay, I'll go to bed now.
Okay.
I had to see Zahara last night.
Okay, but you
wanted
could
to do it too. And I was like,
no. So 1 second. So you could have just stayed up another 10 minutes,
I know.
and you could have said Tikkun Chatzos.
I know.
Okay.
Slept for 8 minutes.
Or slept for 8 minutes, right?
Well, okay. Well, when it's 12. Listen. When it's 12:35, you go to sleep. It's going to be hard to sleep
Next
for
thing
just
I knew,
8
I was
minutes.
up at 7:30.
What?
Next thing I knew, I was up.
Well, okay.
That's it.
All right. So, but it's a
In my
lesson.
head, I was like, I want to do it.
No. So that's amazing. No, but that's the whole point. You wanted to do it. That's an amazing thing. The Ratzon, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu sometimes sets it up to see now, are you going to be upset or are you still going to be besimcha? You should be besimcha that you wanted to. That's an amazing concept, right? That I wanted to. I had a Ratzon. A Ratzon is great, right? Right? Only in Yiddishkeit that works, right? Anything else, right? In business, I really wanted to do it, but by HaKadosh, but it's never going to go and get you in it. But in Yiddishkeit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu counts even when our Ratzon is.
I really wanted to show up for the job, but
I couldn't do it, but I really wanted to get it done for you. You see, right? But when we really want to do something and we really want this, so sometimes HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a test to see now, and He doesn't want us to do it. We want to do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want you to do it because He wants to test us to see, well, how are we going to deal with this now? Because I want to do it, but Hashem says no. So am I going to be upset because Hashem doesn't want me to do it? So, hey, Hashem, I want...
it's obvious that Hashem wanted you to get 7 hours sleep.
Then that's it.
That's what happened. That's what happened. It was God's
And that's what happened. That's mamish what happened.
Whatever happens is God's will.
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you this also. The first time that I made it to Uman for Rosh Hashanah, this is 20 some odd years ago. So when before we came to Uman, I went with a friend of mine at the time, Alan Blau, Baruch Hashem, a great guy from Woodmere. We went and we went on we had a taxi and we went to all the Kivrei Tzadikim. We went to Shepetevska and on Poli, and we went to. I mean, it was like wow, Velednik. It was an amazing thing.
It was buried in Velednik.
What?
Who's buried in Velednik?
I'm trying to remember now. I'll think about it. There's a wonderful say from the Velednik. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember at the moment. But I was so when I came, I'll let you know later. I'll think about it. Okay, okay. So when I came to Uman, we came there. We arrived there for Zechar Bris for the Slichas Erev Rosh Hashanah. It was amazing. 3:30 in the morning. Right, okay, and I was what?
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, and I was mamish. It was great. I couldn't believe it that I made it there. It was like wow, it was unbelievable. So I got to the klois. I never davened the slichas like that ever, anywhere else ever. It was amazing. All right, and then it came Rosh Hashanah night, okay, and then I wanted to. I set an alarm clock and I asked a couple of the chaverim. One of the guys I even asked was Isaac Bergman. I said to him, you guys know Isaac Bergman? And whatever, what?
I read his book once.
Yeah, Isaac's great. So I even asked him. I asked so many people, please make sure you wake me up. I want to be at the klois 6:30 to start davening. I want to be there. I want to go to mikveh. All right. So what happened was I set the alarm clock. I asked these people, and the next thing I know, I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I look at my wife. I go, what? I couldn't. Then I stopped myself, and I said, "Wait a second. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I set an alarm clock, so that was okay. And then I asked people to wake me up, but it didn't work out. So obviously Hashem wants me to get up now. So what I did was I said, what should I do? I'll go use the mikveh, and then I'll go daven. So I go use the mikveh, and I go daven. Okay, I went to the klois. So I got to the klois maybe at 7:15. Okay." You know what the nice thing was? They were just starting Psukkah de Zimmer. It was unbelievable. It was like from the beginning. I said, this is amazing. And it was just, that's what I'm trying to say to you. You can't worry. Don't worry about anything. You just do what you have to do. And the main thing is we always have to be besimcha. That's the main thing. Don't let it get to you. Sheheim bechinas kfiris v'apikoros. That's what we're trying to get out of. V'zoichin ladas lahoshev es apikoros sheblibay, and then we can answer the apikoros that's in ourselves. And as we said, in Pirkei Avos is telling us about answering the apikoros, to know how to answer the apikoros when he answers something. But here we're learning the concept that sometimes we have that little apikoros in ourselves, and we know how to answer that, and we know how to always maintain the level of simcha. Now watch this now. And for this we have to try to get up. Right, we have to be misgaber. We have to work on it. It's it's gabris. It takes it. You have to put a little effort into that. So we learned about this in the brachas, right? Lahafchem ben yoim uvein laila. Right? Remember we learned those. Remember that concept we learned. Lahafchem ben yoim uvein laila. Right? That Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives us the idea, the discernment to know that yoim is simcha, is mitzvahs, is avodas Hashem. Laila is all the bad stuff. Right? So in other words, that there's an idea of yoim and laila. Hein bechinas das uksilas. Right? Das. What's das? Knowing Hashem. Knowing that I'm an Eved of Hashem, knowing I have an neshama, knowing that I'm in this world for a purpose and I have to do what I have to accomplish here. And what's the other side? Ksilas, foolishness, silliness, right? Shehu hastaras hayadiyah. That's covering up the idea, and that's what the Yetzirah is trying so hard. Like we said about eating and all of these different ideas. He wants us to sleep and all the different things. Wants to cover up that idea of what my purpose is. What's my tafkid in this world? That's really what it is. Kama b'divra ben izal drishu, right? That's lesson 37. It's an amazing Torah. It's also about eating it over there. Also, one day in Mitzvah Hashem, guys, we'll get to learn these Torahs. Also, shadasu b'chinas ar. That das is ar, right? We can understand that, right? Das, knowledge, knowing Hashem, that is ar. Vaksilas b'chinas astaras hayadiyah. Shehu b'chinas chayshech, right? Makes sense? Right? When you have foolishness is what is darkness is darkness. Ki choshech nimshach me machshavos ki choshech nimshach me cheshchas hadas. From the darkening of the das. I got to get a bigger print. Shu hastaras hayadiyah. And that is the hastaras hayadiyah. That is the covering up of the knowledge of what I have to know. I have to know that einoid milvadei. I have to know the kol madav rachman l'tava of it. Right? These concepts shemisham nimshachim elu akushay sanal isa bezayah. Here we go, guys. Now buckle up. Here we go, because it says in the Zayar, kad paris leila gatfa. That at night, when the night comes in, this thing of Layla, whatever it spreads its wings, okay, Azai, Mistamin, Tarin, the Gan Eden, and then the Shar of Gan Eden is closed up. The Rebbe is going to explain us, don't worry, just hold on. Reb Nosson is going to give us the explanation of the words. V'nimuse gardunin nafkin ba'oma. And then all of the din and all of the different, the klipas, are running rampant in the world. Okay? David, is that right? Is that how he explains it in there?
Yeah.
And then we know that the world is run by the matrinusa, and the Gemara in Bracha speaks about this. Right? The Gemara speaks about the three parts the night is divided into, and the first part of the night is divided into the metronusa. So the Gemara speaks about this concept. Okay? Hainu ki balayla oz miskabra chayshech. We know that at night the chayshech is mamish miskabra because look, it's dark outside. Right? It's dark outside. Shua eder adas. What is that? That's the lacking. Eder means the lacking of das. In other words, I don't have das because at night it's dark and I can't see the beautiful blue sky. I love it, mamish. The only thing I do if I'm not davening at night, so I'm sitting on the marpeset and I sit and look at the sky. It's mamish here, unreal. It's mamish a blue like I've never seen anywhere else. It's unbelievable. You ever look at the sky now? There's not a cloud in the sky here. Nothing. Just blue. Mama's like
sometimes when it's hard to go to Chutz La'aretz.
What?
It's hard to go to Chutz La'aretz because
it's gray. Everything's gray and cloudy and Mama. I believe, Mama. That's the behiras of Emuna. That's showing the clarity of Emuna.
I was talking to a friend on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And I wasn't looking at the sky, and he goes, David, look at the sky behind you. Look at that.
No one, they can't believe it, right? They can't believe it.
What a color.
They can't believe it. So we're saying that so when the chayshich comes, that's the eder of das. That's the lacking of the knowledge of Hashem. You don't see it. You can't look outside and see that clarity. Shehu sisimas tarin the Gan Eden. That's what it means. The closing of the gate of Gan Eden, right? Okay, shehem bechina shvile yasechel. That's the the pathways of our intellect. It's covering the pathways of our intellect. Va'oz nemuse gardina nafkin ba'alma shehem. Now he says the Rebbe Nassim explained this. Shehem bechinas dinim haklipos. So at night the dinim, right, the other side and the klipos are running rampant. Sheikar chisazam bekfiris akushis animshachim aidei hestalkus hadas balayla. At night, and now I'll give you an idea. I want to just give you this concept over here. I'm going to tell you something interesting. So we know that we have the different Sudas of Shabbos, right? We have the different Sudas of Shabbos, right? So the Suda of Friday night is Yitzchak Avinu. The Suda of the day is Avram Avinu. The morning when we have our lunch meal, right? The Suda. And Yaakov Avinu is Shalosh Sudas. Okay? Right? So good? So far so good, right? So the question I always wanted to know, and I got an answer a few years ago, was why should Friday night be Yitzchak Avinu? No. Why shouldn't it go in order? Why should it not be Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? Why does it go Yitzchak, Avram, and Yaakov, right? So the answer is because Friday night is still special, but it's still the night. It's still the night. And what's Yitzchak? Yitzchak is tzchoik. Yitzchak always sees through the din. That we're saying that the night is din. Right? So why is Yitzchak his name Yitzchak? Because he's laughter. Right? Because Yitzchak is the side of Gevurah, right? We have Chesed, Gevurah, Tferes, right? So Chesed's on the right side, Gevurah is on the left side, Tferes is in the middle, center the middle, right? So Yitzchak Avinu understands that anything that's in the world is really only Hashem. And he sees the end game of Hashem, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is trying to accomplish. And he doesn't focus on what he's going through right now. He's always looking ahead. And that's why Yitzchak is laughing, because even the situation he's going through, he realizes, okay, it's hard. Example I like to use is that you go to the dentist, right? No one likes to go to the dentist. So when you go to the dentist, the person has a cavity, right? You have a toothache. Right? So you go to the dentist, and what's the dentist doing? He's sitting there drilling, right? Now really, wait a second. This is the most uncomfortable thing. It's painful, but you're okay with it. Not only that, you'll pay the guy for that. Right? Why? Because you know at the end it's going to be okay. He's going to patch it up, whatever it's going to be. They'll do whatever he's going to do, and it's going to be okay. I'll be all right. Right, so that's the idea that we're saying over here. Night is the astalkas hadas. That's the leaving of das. We don't have it, so that's why it's Yitzchak. Avram Avinu is okay. Avram Avinu we know is the father of Emuna, right? So during the day we have that beautiful sky. That's Avram Avinu, and then Yaakov Avinu is the balance again. That's the balance between Chesed and Gevurah. The perfect balance is Tferes. Yeah. Right, that's the time. That's Yaakov Avinu. And why is Yaakov Avinu is Tferes, the perfect balance? Because you see, when you have Avram Avinu, so Avram Avinu, the Nesiva Shalom, I remember learning a beautiful piece from the Nesiva Shalom on that. He says, why Avram Avinu is kulei chesed. So if you have too much chesed, only chesed, so then you wind up with Yishmael. And that's why he said that Avram Avinu first had to have Yishmael. Yishmael had to be born first because he had to get rid of that excess, the chesed that he had within him. It had to be put into Yishmael. And that's why Yishmael was born before Yitzchak. Yitzchak Avinu was the midah of Gvura. So who was born first? Esav is born first. Again, Yitzchak put whatever impurity there was in the Gvura, he infused it into Esav. But Yaakov Avinu is that perfect balance between Chesed and Gvura. He has it perfectly balanced. So Yaakov Avinu has the Shiftei Ka. He has the 12 tribes that are pure, because Yaakov Avinu had that perfect balance. Not too much Chesed, not too much Gvura. It was Tferes. It was the perfect, the common thing. Okay, I'm sorry we went off the 10th thing over here, but anyway, Bechinas. Okay, we understand so far. We're okay. Okay, Shu Bechinas Sesimas Tarin the Gan Eden. Again, when you have the Histalkus of the Das, that's what it means, that the mind, that the pathways of intellect are clogged, and if the pathways of intellect are clogged, that's what it means, that the gates of the Shar of Gan Eden is closed. Kedein Oma Isnaig Al Yida de Matrinusa. So what is that? Shu Bechinas Malchus Hamalka Kedisha. That's through the Malka. He's going to explain. Shu Bechinas Emuna Kedisha. The Malka is Emuna. So he knows when it comes to the night, and it's the beginning of the night, we're supposed to, and it's that first segment of the night's divided into three. So the first segment of the night is by the Metronusa. The Metronusa is what we're saying is the Malka HaKedaisha, is the holy Malka. What is the holy Malka? That's Emuna. We have to constantly attach ourselves to Emuna. Ki balayla beisa choishes is talchas hadas oz tzrichin l'schazik rak be'emuna levad. Again, that's like we're saying, anytime we have a difficult situation in our life, we have to attach ourselves to the Emuna. Everyone, you're reading something else? Everything okay, what we're saying here? We're online, we're on target? Okay. Shu Malchus, Shu Bechinas Malchus, that's Malchus. Right? What's Malchus? Malchus is the lowest, Malchus is the lowest that we have Chesed, Gevura, Tveres, Netzach, Chod, Yisoid, and Malchus. Right? So Malchus is the bottom. Right? But Malchus is also all-encompassing. Right? Malchus is all-encompassing. It's the lowest one, but it encompasses all of the midos. So that's what we're saying over here. This is Malchus. In other words, the night, when we attach ourselves to Emuna, Emuna is the Malka, the holy Malka, and which the holy Malka is what is Emuna, which is Emuna, and the Emuna is Malchus. Bechinas Matrinusa. Hanal v'zeh bechinas v'emunoscha baleilos, and that's why David HaMelech tells us v'emunoscha baleilos. You know, as I need at night, I have to attach myself to Emuna. And this also means anytime we're going through a difficult situation in our life, whatever we're going through that we don't understand, we have to always attach ourselves to Emuna. We have to always use Emuna. Kamu v'divrei ben Ezra b'makemacha ayin sham. So just to summarize what we just said over here, right? So in other words, get up specifically. The Rebbe say that you have to be miskabed to get up at Tikkun Chatzos, right? And we said if you can't get up at Tikkun Chatzos, get up a little later, but try at least to be. You're the one that's ma'ira the shachar, and the shachar is not the morning, and then the morning is not waking you up. Right? You wake up the morning, so you're there with your tefillah, your avodah, and you're using that to wake up the morning, and that's how you get the chadash and labakar and Rabbi Manasecha. That's how you can get the strong emuna in the morning. So we're saying, and then at night you have to try to go to sleep earlier because you want to go to sleep at that time when it's dark. When is it dark? When in the first segment of the night, because at that time there's so much klippas and different things in the world. That's why I believe such a thing that they, all the parties and all the things that they do in the world, they start at, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, right? They start around then during the time of it, because that's the time that there's so much garbage going on in the world. So the Rebbe is saying, make sure you go to sleep at that time. And like we said, Be'emunoscha baleilos, right? David HaMelech teaches us Be'emunoscha baleilos. Attach ourselves to Emuna specifically at night. Anytime that we're going through a difficult situation, that's also considered at night. Always we have to attach ourselves to Emuna, and we have to always remember that Kol Ma David Rachmana L'Tav Havid. Anyone want to say anything? Any questions? You have any questions? Comments? No? Okay, shkayach.